Hi everybody, it's Steffi and welcome back to my channel. So today I am actually doing a makeup tutorial on how I did this with my face. So we will go through all the steps for that. I am not including skincare in this, so if you have questions about skincare, you can either leave them down below, or if you want me to make a video talking about the skincare that I use, I can definitely do that for you guys, but I'm not including that in this video because this is just for makeup related purposes. You're going to see me go through this, and as I do, I actually did my contour before my concealer, which is weird because I never do that, but I did. And I actually like how this turned out that way. So I'm going to leave it and not redo the video. But usually I do my contour and then see, there I just did it again. My brain just wants to say contour before concealer because they both start with a C. And I don't know. Anyway, it's usually concealer and then contour and then blush. But that's not what happened because I'm me and I do shit like this. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm going to talk to you about all the products that I am using first so that if you don't have foundation or a cream blush or powder or something and you want to do this makeup tutorial, you can pick up everything that you need and then you can go ahead and do this makeup video with me. Otherwise, if you want to just watch and see, you'll know exactly what you would need if you wanted to do your makeup like I do. So anyway, let's just go ahead and get started. First things first, you're going to need a primer. So the primer that I have is the Pretty Filter Icy Sherbet Primer by Touch in Soul. This is what it looks like right here. There's all different kinds of primers out there. It depends on what you want to use. This I got from BoxyCharm, but I usually use the e.l.f. Putty Primer with oil control. That one is what it says. It's more of a putty. This is more of a gel. You're going to need a little bit more or less depending on what one you use, and it also depends on your face shape. If your face is bigger, smaller, you know, but usually you need about a finger-sized amount, and that's it. But you'll see that in the video. So your first step is primer. Next is going to be foundation. I actually have two that I really like. This is my current foundation. As you can see here, it's upside down because it's almost out, so I can't use the pump anymore. So this is the CoverGirl True Blend, and my shade is M2, which is medium light. I get this from Walmart. I believe it's about $7 or $8. But if I'm not using that, I do like the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation and concealer. I just use this for foundation. This is in shade, what shade are you? 02A Creamy Natural. That is that. I would say with foundation to use about 4 pumps. Then next should be concealer, but it wasn't in our video. So I used the Milani Conceal and Perfect. This is in shade 125 Light Natural. Also, for this foundation, I got this at CVS, but I believe they also have it at Walmart. This concealer I did get at Walmart. I believe it's about $8. Next is going to be setting powder. This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus, and I believe this is just in translucent. Yeah, 520B translucent. That's that. This is, I think it's like $3 or $4. You can get this at Walmart or CVS. Then for cream contour, or if you wanted to use powder contour, I'm going to show you both options. So for cream contour, I actually use a foundation stick. This is the L'Oreal Paris Infallible long shaping stick, but it's a foundation stick. So this is in the shade 410 Cocoa. I don't remember how much this was, but I believe I got this at Walmart. And then for a powder bronzer, if you're going to go that route, this is the Butter Bronzer from Physicians Formula. This is their deep bronzer. If you're going to use Physicians Formula, go a little bit darker than you usually would because for whatever reason, they're not that pigmented. So you have to kind of pick something really dark. But that is that. For blush, I have 2 different blushes that I like. One is a powder, one is a cream. So the cream one is by, oh, I forgot to say where the powder bronzer comes from. That one I got from CVS. I believe they also have it at Walmart. These should all be, for the most part, CVS and Walmart. But this is the Milani Cheek Kiss, and this is in the shade 410 Rose Romance. This is a cream blush. I got this from Walmart. And then this I actually got from BoxyCharm. This is the Wander Beauty Trip for Two. And it's a bronzer and a blush duo, but I always run out of the bronzer. So here is the blush. And this is in the shade Bellini. This you can, I believe, still get on Boxy Pop-Up. It's also on WonderBeauty.com. But blush is blush. You can get a Maybelline or a Wet n Wild blush at Walmart if you like powder blush. Let me think of what's next. Highlighter. So, highlighter. So many options. Everybody knows I love Jeffree Star's highlighter. It's very expensive. You can get ones at Walmart for a couple dollars. I don't buy them because the packaging always breaks. But this is my Jeffree Star one. I believe this is about $40. And this is in the shade Sarcophagus. And this is the Skin Frost. So that's what I'm going to be using on my face today. Just so you know, this is what it looks like. It's a very good highlighter. As you can see, it gets the job done. I really like it. But the Wet n Wild ones that you can get from Walmart are just as good if you wanted to just try it. And then you're only spending a couple dollars. I'm not going in order. I'm kind of going in order, but I'm kind of not. So for brows, the brow pomade that I use, this is by L'Oreal. It's the L'Oreal Paris, and it's the Brow Stylist Frame and Set. This will come with an eyebrow brush. It looks like this. It comes with this every single time. So you can get both of these. I believe it's pretty cheap. The shade that I use is, what is this? 215 Deep Brunette. I really like this color for my brows. I probably could buy some wacky purple one if I wanted, but I don't know. But they have a variety of different colors if you're looking for that. This is from Walmart. For mascara, I'm very picky about my mascaras, by the way. This is the Milk Makeup Kush Waterproof Mascara. You can get this from their website. I got this from BoxyCharm. It might still be in Boxy Pop-Up. But any drugstore mascara is fine if you're just starting out. If you're not sure, you can always Google best mascaras of 2021 and you'll have a dozen different mascaras to choose from. But I would say if you're going to get one from Walmart, the ones that I like to use is by Maybelline. I don't like the Wet n Wild ones. I don't like the L'Oreal ones. I like the Maybelline ones. So that's just my preference. Then for eyeliners, I have a liquid felt tip liner and I also have a gel sharpenable pencil. This one I used in my waterline. This one I used on top of my eye. You can kind of see it here. But this is a felt tip, which is the kind that I prefer. It looks like that. There's a million different eyeliners out there. The ones from NYX are pretty good. Otherwise, Wet n Wilds are okay too. It really just depends on what you like. But these are both by Queen. It's QVEEN. I got these from BoxyCharm. But they might have them on Boxy Pop-Up, otherwise on the Queen website if you specifically want these. But if you're just starting out, I would just pick something that's generic, cheap. See if you like it. If you don't, you can always try something else. But that's what makeup is going to be. You're going to be trying things and seeing exactly what you like and what you don't like. And what you like, I might not like. And what I like, you might not like. So that's that. What haven't we talked about? Oh, there's a couple of things. Okay, so we're going to talk about NYX. I swear if I drop one more brush in this video. This is the Milk Makeup Tattoo Stamp. This is what it looks like. This is my moon one. I also have a heart and a star one. But everybody asked me where this came from. It's from Milk Makeup. Sometimes when you buy other things from them, they'll throw one of these in there for free. So pay attention to that. I believe the code, if you want this for free, is free stamp. All caps, no space. I could be wrong. But if I'm remembering right, that's what it was last time. For lipstick. Obviously, I wear black lipstick. I'm going to be doing a whole video on black lipsticks because it's hard to find a good one. This is by Jeffree Star, and this is in the shade Weirdo. I really like this. This is the liquid lipstick. This is not the gloss. This is not the Velvet Trap. This is just their regular liquid lipstick. I don't remember how much those eyeliners cost now that I think about it. But this is, I believe, $16 to $18. It's very expensive. You can get any kind of lipstick you want. If you're just starting out, just get a regular little bullet lipstick from Wet n Wild. See what you like. See what colors you like. See what type of finish you like. Try a couple. Try a satin one. Try a matte one. See what you like. What didn't we talk about yet? Because I know there's more. Setting spray. So, oh my God, setting spray. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, this is the Glow Recipe Watermelon Ultra Fine Mist. I really like this, but this is about $30. It's very expensive. If you're just starting out with setting sprays, be careful, because some of them have a mister that isn't very good, and it's just going to be like a water gun hitting your face. So you kind of have to be careful with the ones you choose. I would say stay away from the Milani ones because the misters on them are not very good. The NYX ones are okay. It just really depends on what you want to start with. But setting spray is one I wouldn't really mess around with. I would get the all-nighter one that you can get at Ulta. I forget what brand that is, but Ulta has really good setting sprays. You can always just walk in there and be like, hey, I need a setting spray. I want one that has a really nice mister. And they'll be able to tell you what's all out there and available. Otherwise, you can look that up too. But this is the one that I use. I also have one by Maven Beauty. That one is okay too. The packaging is a little bit cheap, but you know me on my bougie bullshit. So what didn't we talk about? I think the only thing that we have, we didn't talk about the eye base. So eye base is one of those, and concealer. So this is one of the things. When you do your eyes, you want to have a layer of makeup between your eyes and the makeup, because especially if you're using purples, blues, pinks, reds, those colors are going to stain your eyes. And then when you take it off, if you're not wearing any makeup the next day, you're going to see there's residual makeup on there. No matter how hard you scrub your eyes, it's going to stay on there for a while because it stains. That's just the way that it is. If you use an eye base, it's going to help with that, and it's also going to help your shadows stick to your eyes better and show up more pigmented and be easier to blend. So that is why I use an eye base. If you don't want to, that's fine. If you have concealer, just use that. Otherwise, if you're going to get an eye base, this one I have is from Eyeliners Cosmetics. It's the Putty Primer. This is a very good one. Otherwise, the P. Louise one is a very good one. That one, she does have, I think it's like 10 or 20 different colored eyeshadow bases you can choose from. So they will have one for your skin tone, no matter what your skin tone is. Otherwise, just use your concealer. Either one is going to work out just fine. Let's actually get into now the palette that I use, and then we're going to talk about brushes, because brushes are important, but I am dropping them everywhere, and it's not even funny. Okay, so the palette that I'm using for my eyes today, this is the Jeffree Star Bloodlust palette. This is what it looks like. If you want this, I do have one of these on my Facebook Marketplace for sale right now. I believe it's a little bit cheaper than the ticket price in the store, but not by much, just because I want to get the most bang out of my buck. I'm going to show you the palette. So this is the palette right here. The shades that we're going to use is Beauty Sleep on the brow bone highlight. We're going to use Blood Queen on the eye, and then we're going to use Executioner in the corner of the eye. So the black, the purple, and then this pink color. Okay. I believe this palette is $65 on his website. If you're just starting out, I would say get some eyeshadows from Walmart. The e.l.f. ones are pretty good. You know, I wouldn't really buy an expensive eyeshadow palette if you're not comfortable putting on eyeshadow yet, just because you want to like practice that and practice the techniques of how to blend everything before you really go in. So let's talk about the brushes that I use today. That and the beauty blenders, there's a lot. So I'm just letting you know. If you're just starting out with makeup though, the best thing I could tell you is subscribe to BoxyCharm, because you're going to get 5 makeup items. One of them you get to choose which is your choice item. So you get to customize one item in the box. It's 5 items for $25 plus shipping. And each box has at least a $75 value. Usually the boxes value somewhere between 120 to 150, sometimes a little bit higher, but you're definitely getting your bang for your buck, usually with just the choice item. So it's a really good deal. You can cancel it whenever you want. I'm going to put my referral code in the description box if you guys want to help me get a little bit of taco money. You can do that and sign up. Otherwise, if you just want to go to their website and sign up on your own, you can do that too. I'm not sure what the code is this month, but if you sign up, when you check out, there's going to be like a little thing that says if you enter this code, you're going to get like a free extra item or something. So keep that in mind. And I also do a BoxyCharm video every month on my channel. So every time I get a box, I show you guys what I get in my box. I have a whole playlist for that if you want to check that out before you subscribe to BoxyCharm, just to see. But as you can see from all the things that I've mentioned, some of them are from BoxyCharm and they're actually pretty bougie, so it's a good deal. All right, so let's start out with the eyebrow brushes. Where's my other one? Hello? Oh, I dropped it. Anyway, this is what an eyebrow brush looks like. It's very small. It's got an angle on the top. A lot of them have a spoolie. This came with the pomade. So if you get the pomade, you're going to get one. Then, I don't know why this is out here. Okay, that was supposed to be in there. This is called a brow or a lash brush because it has a spoolie and it also has this. I just call it an angled brush. This I used underneath my eye right here. Then we have just these two blending brushes. They're pretty similar. They have this shape. And then a more dense brush like this. This is the eye blending brush from e.l.f. I would say if you're looking for brushes, just get them from e.l.f. or Equate. Real cheap brushes. That way if you mess them up, it's not really that big of a deal. Otherwise, I did get a Real Techniques brush set, and I liked a lot of those brushes. So you could do that. I'm going to go through all of the other brushes that you could possibly need for this video. You feel me? So these are the other brushes. Now, two of these I didn't use today, but if you're using a powder bronzer, you're going to need a Kabuki brush. This isn't really a Kabuki brush, but it's similar. A Kabuki brush looks kind of like this, where it's very tightly packed, and it's a little bit skinnier than mine, but it'll have this same type of grip around the top of the handle. And so it's a very dense brush. Like the bristles are pressed really tightly on the top, and when you use it, it's going to swirl like this. This is for like if you're using powder bronzer to blend that in. So I use cream bronzer in my video, but if you're using powder bronzer, a little goes a long way, and all you do is you pretty much just blend it in where you want to put it. That's the easiest way I can say that. All right, next, if you're using powder blush, which I didn't use, I use cream blush, but you're going to need an angled blush brush. It looks like this. Mine isn't really that angled, but usually they're angled like that. This is just an Equate one, but you can get these anywhere. This is my powder brush. It's also called a face brush. It's a very thick, fluffy brush. This is for brushing, like putting on setting powder and brushing it off. That's what this is for. This is a highlighter brush. This is the 420 by Real Techniques. I did get this in a brush set from Walmart. This is an Equate shader brush. I use this for my cream contour on my nose only. And it looks like this. You could also use a blending brush if you don't have anything else. Then the last brush we're going to talk about is the Real Techniques 421. This is a, what was it called? A soft accent brush. This is the one I use for my powder under my eyes and on the main parts of my face. It's like a dense packing brush, but it's got like this weird, like almost like a cat's paw type shape to it. I don't know how to describe it, but this is the one that I like to use for my setting powder also. So I have two brushes for setting powder. But this is just the way that I am, okay? Now, let's talk about beauty blenders, because I think that everybody should have a couple, because if you use one for everything, it's going to get very dirty, and you're going to get makeup that you don't want in certain parts of your face there, and it's not going to be good. So I actually use 3. This little cardboard container is from BoxyCharm. I did get a a set of 3 makeup sponges from them. I forget what brand. That's not what I have in here. I just kept this because it was cute. But these are from Makeup Eraser. Ones similar to this are the e.l.f. ones. You can get them at Walmart. I think they're like $4 to $8 each. I use 3. So I use one for foundation, and then I use one for concealer and bronzer, and then I use one for my brows and my cream blush. So if you know, this is just the way that I do my makeup though. I'm trying to think if there's anything that we missed. All right, well, that is everything that I had to cover before we get started. So let's do this makeup. Roll it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to start with is the eye base. I have talked about everything already, so if you missed that part, go watch the first part of this video. And you don't really need a lot, about a pea-sized amount. And you just want to put that all over the eye. It does take a minute for it to set down, so if you're wondering about that, it will go on as a cream, and then when my cat is doing something weird, and then when it sets down, it will be like a sticky base. But I need a mirror because I can't see what I'm doing. So let me see. And it's already starting to set down. You don't have to worry if you get any on a part that's not your eye, like I usually do, like right here. I just try to kind of blend it in and make it even. And you'll feel when it starts to get tacky, like it's tacky right now, it sticks to your fingers. So now we're going to go in with the palette. So I've already shown the colors that we're going to be using. So we're going to start with our brow bone highlight. If you guys remember, that's the color Beauty Sleep. And I'm taking that on a fluffy brush that looks like this, so this shape. And what we're going to do is put this below the eyebrow right here, and then we're going to drag it down to the corner of the eye. And this doesn't take very long. You just kind of want to just brush that on, and then right where your eye, like if you open it before it creases, right here, you want to put some right there. So I'll do both eyes on camera just so you guys can get a good idea of what that looks like. Just like this. So this you kind of want to be precise with. I mean, you don't have to be exactly precise, but you don't want to get any on an area that isn't your eye. If you do, we can clean that up with either a makeup wipe or a magic eraser. And that will look like that. So that's just going to highlight this area. And that's what that looks like. Next, we're going to go in with our main color on the eye, which is Blood Queen. And you're going to start at the corner of your eye right here. And then you're going to put this all over the lid. This color, when you first put it on, if you're using Jeffree Star's palettes, it can take a while to build just because with this eye base, they don't really work well together. If you're using concealer, you're going to get a better result because concealer is a little bit more oily. It's not as sticky. I don't like to use concealer because I feel like it's not that great of an eye base. But if you're just starting out and that's all you have, work with what you have because it will be okay. It's just not going to be as pigmented, I would say. But it'll go on easier. So then what you want to do when you get that on is above the crease of your eye, just go back and forth a little bit and kind of blend that on. So this is going to look like this right now. Let's do the other eye. So again, in the corner of the eye, like this, brush it across. And you're going to want to cover up everywhere you have that eye base. Now, if you look, you can tell it does take some building to get it to where I need it to be. But that's just part of how eyeshadow works. You need to be patient. You need to take your time. And if something doesn't look exactly the way you want, you can always blend it out. So don't like really focus on that too much because it will blend out and it will look okay. So let's see. All right. So now what we're going to do is we are going to take, oh, I forgot to tell you, that was a similar brush. It's another like fluffy blending brush. Now we're going to take a more dense brush like this, and this one, the bristles are packed tightly together, as you can see, and it has more of a flat top on it. These are all generic brushes, so this is just an e.l.f. blending brush, and we're going to dip into Executioner. You don't really need a lot because this is very pigmented. And then we're going to put this on the outer corner of the eye, like this. We're going to bring it in a little bit, not too much. You're going to get fallout with this. Don't worry about that. I'm going to do the other eye, and then we're going to blend. So again, on the corner, bring it out a little bit, not too much. Because if you do too much, it's going to be hard to blend. I've got some hair going on here. Okay, so that's what that looks like so far. We're going to take the brush we had Blood Queen on, and we're going to use that. So what you're going to do is close your eye and do swiping motions in between the two eyeshadows, just like this. And you're just going to blend that together. So just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And that's going to create more of a blended look. You can't really tell right now, but it will. So we're just going to blend that back and forth a little bit. And then what I like to do is go in with a little bit more Blood Queen. Just right here. Now, blending eyeshadows all just depends on what type of eyeshadow you're using. I mean, if you're using something from Walmart, it's going to be harder to blend out. I'm just telling you that right now. So that is what that looks like, and we're almost done with the eyes. I know it doesn't take me very long. It might take you longer than this. Just take your time. So now what we're going to do is we're going to blend our shadows that are down here along with our brow bone highlight. So all you really do is just in between those two colors, just go back and forth like this a little bit. And it creates more of a blend. It's really subtle, but it does help. And once you practice doing this, it will be easier. And that is the eyeshadow on the lids all done. So we will come back to lower lash line and eyeliner later. The next thing I like to do is I like to take either a makeup wipe or my magic eraser, and I'm going to get rid of this fallout. But I actually forgot that, so I have to go grab it. Okay, so now that I have my wet makeup eraser, we're going to go underneath the eye, and I'm not sure if you guys are going to be able to see this. See, like right here, there's a little bit of fallout. So what we're going to do is we're going to brush that away because we don't want that to stay on our face. So you're just going to get rid of that, and then if you have any eyeshadow that's anywhere that's not your eye or the eye base, you can go ahead and clean that up. So that's what I'm going to do right now. All right, now that that's done, I'm going to dry that. And then the next thing that I would say to do is put on your skincare, any skincare that you do. Obviously, you can't do eyes. I would do an eye cream in the nighttime, not during the day. But now I would say do your skincare and then wait for that to dry. And then when that's done, our next step is going to be primer. Okay, so before we go in with primer, you want to make sure that your face is dry. So when you touch it, it should be a little bit tacky, might have a little bit of a glow to it like mine, but you don't want it to be like slippery or greasy. Sometimes you can get that with a moisturizer, but you shouldn't. So now when we go in with primer, you don't need a lot. It depends on the type of primer you're using, but this one is more of a gel consistency. Some of them can be watery, but usually the amount you use is about the same. So I'm going to grab about this much, which isn't too much, and that might get me through my face, it might not. So you just rub that between your hands and put it on everywhere. And I always do my neck too because I put foundation on my neck. I don't know why I put it on the back of my neck though, because I never put foundation back there, but some people do. And you want to blend that in. And again, you're going to let that sit down for a minute. So what I would do right now while I'm waiting for that is I would wet my beauty blenders and wring them out and then get my foundation ready. Okay, so now it's time to go on with foundation. I'm just going to show you the way I like to do it. Everybody does it different. I'm going to be using the Beauty Blender and my fingers to apply this. So I have it on the back of my hand right here. I know this is a lot. I would usually use about 3 to 4 pumps, but since we're at the bottom of my foundation, I can't do that. So what I usually do is I just do a little bit like this just to get it on my face. Then I take my Beauty Blender, and on this side, the big round side, that's what I use to blend it in. And you just kind of pounce it along your face like this. And then it will blend in. Now, with any foundation, when it goes on, it's going to be a little bit wet like this. It's going to take a minute to dry. So don't be worried about that. It will dry down. But we're going to do the same thing on the other side. If you want to know what beauty blenders I am using, I have a video that I will be coming out with soon reviewing these. These are the ones from Makeup Eraser. Mixed reviews on that. But they're nice. But you can get beauty blenders from anywhere. So now we're just going to, I put some on my chin, my upper lip, and my nose. And we're just doing the same process. So if you use a beauty blender, it's pretty much the same. On my nose, I do it a little bit different where I kind of drag it. But on my nose, I usually don't get good coverage anyway. And then I kind of drag it up to my forehead. And then we're going to put some on our forehead up here. And I just do that. And then blend that in. Try to blend it into your hairline the best that you can. If you're wearing a headband, you don't really have to worry about that, I guess. But it, you know. And then whatever I have left, I take and I go like this for my neck. And that will get the extra off your hand. And then you have some for your neck. And then I just kind of drag it down. I go like this to blend in underneath the neck. Go all the way across. And I usually go under my neckline of my shirt a little bit. And then don't forget your ears. Always get your ears. And then when I'm all done, I like to kind of just go back over everything now that it's set down a little bit. And by this point, your foundation should be dry. So as you can see, we now have coverage on the face. And that's that. So moving on to contour. I need to find, here it is, right here. So what we're going to do with this, if you're doing your contour the same as mine, is we're going to draw. And this is going to look crazy, and I think this is my favorite step just because the transformation from before to after is so, like, weird. You're going to see. Okay, so this is going to give us more dimension to the face. So what we're going to do is start at the top of your forehead like this, and you're going to draw down to, like, the middle of your ear. And then for the shape of my face, I want my contour right here. So I'm going to just drag out a little bit because this is very pigmented, as you can see. Then we're going to do the same on the other side. Like this. I want some contour around my face. So I'm going to just go like this. And that's going to be our contour for under the neck. And then when I do my nose, I actually have a brush for this because I find it's really hard to do it without a brush. Where did it go? Hello? Usually I'm full of brushes in here and I'm like I need to wash them. So I'm trying to find my contour brush. Okay, it was all the way in the middle. So this is an Equate brush. This is from Walmart and it's called a shader brush, but this is the shape of it. So you can kind of get an idea of what that is. Whatever brush you use for this, make sure you're not going to use it for anything else because there are oils in this and it's never going to, the pigment's never going to come out. So then what we're going to do is we're going to just draw on the side of our nose all the way up into our eyebrow like that. And we're going to do the same on the other side. I know this looks crazy right now. Please trust me. Like this, and then with whatever is left in the brush, we're just going to connect it here on the nose. like that. So this is what the cream contour is going to look like before you blend it. I know it looks crazy. Where did I put the cap to this? But trust me here. So what we're going to do is take another beauty blender. And I always test on the back of my hand to make sure this isn't the one for my blush. And I just want to make sure that that is the right one. It is. So you're going to use the bottom of the beauty blender, the flat side. And you're going to just drag the contour up into your hairline like this. Don't worry about this part right now. Do the other side. Now you can see already how easily this is blending. So now what we're going to do is just tap just to kind of blend this more. And you're just bouncing it back and forth. And see how well that blended out. We're going to do the same on the cheeks. So I just kind of drag it and then pull it down kind of to like a big circle shape. And then we're going to blend the edges like this. Sometimes you have to blend this part too. And see how that blends out. And then we'll do the same on the other side. Drag it kind of towards the middle of your cheek and down. And then blend the edges. Okay, now we're going to do down here. So using the same part of the beauty blender, you just kind of want to drag it and smooth it out like this. And then you're going to kind of buff in between where you put it. So up here and down here. Just to blend that in. Okay. And now we're going to take this part of the beauty blender. So the side that's kind of like shaved. Hold that at an angle like this. And you're just going to gently press to kind of blend that in. Like this. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to use our brow pomade. Everybody does their eyebrows different, but the way I do them is actually pretty easy. And when you guys see it, you're going to be like, wow, that's how she does that. So I'm just going to grab a brush and just pick up some of this eye pomade and just scrape it along the edge of the container because I don't want too much. And whatever's excess, I'm going to just scrape off on the sides like this. So then your little eyebrow brush should be nice and coated. And then what we're going to do is you're going to just start a little bit before your eyebrow and put that on. Draw whatever shape you want. I try to keep my eyebrows the most natural shape that I can, and then drag this out pretty far. I usually drag it out to about there. So that's how we get the eyebrow shape. I know this looks weird right here. Just leave it. You're going to take a spoolie and you're just going to kind of spoolie this pomade through the brow a little bit just to blend it in. Now we're going to do the other brow. Usually I do my brows and concealer before my contour, but it doesn't really matter. You can do it however you want. If you have to go back up and touch up that contour, you can, but I don't know what. Today is just a whole different enigma. So again, a little bit before the eyebrow, and then we're going to just draw that on and down, and then go back and drag this out. And then I'm just coloring in a little bit because sometimes this color does get patchy. They're not exactly even today, but that's okay because in reality your brows are not even anyways. So we're going to brush that through, and then concealer plays a big part in this. So let's get out the concealer and do that because this part is very important. So now we have our concealer. You're going to put a little bit on right here. Don't worry if it messes up that brow. That's okay. Put some on the middle of your nose. I usually put some right here and then on my chin. And then I take the other side of the doe foot that I didn't use, and we're going to just swipe like this I know there's a new trend in right now for how to do your concealer under your eye to make it look like you have an eye lift. I don't do that. I don't really follow trends, so if you do, I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take this side of the Beauty Blender, and the first thing we're going to do is underneath our eyes. So this is the same as foundation. You're just going to tap it back and forth like this, all along your under eye, and then we're going to do the nose like this, under the lip, and down here. Now I use a different beauty blender for my eyebrows just because it gets a little bit more pigmented, and I'm going to use this side, so the rounded side, and you're just going to kind of press in the middle, and then for any up here, then below, and then I go back, and anywhere there is product that isn't where it's supposed to be for my brows, I kind of tap that in. Now sometimes you're going to have issues where your brows aren't going to look even like mine. You just want to take your brow brush, and anything that you want to touch up, you can go ahead and do that. Let's see if I can fix this shape. Just like this. So that's how we get that kind of more blended look. I can't get my eyebrows to look the same today to save my life, but I guess that's my biggest struggle. They really do look bad today. Wow. So now we're going to take our setting powder, and we're going to set this in place so that we don't get any creasing. The brush I'm using is a Real Techniques soft accent brush. This is number 421. You can't really see it because it's blending in. So you just want to pick that up on the brush and then kind of tap like this. And then you're going to put this underneath the eye. It doesn't matter if you have too much, but do that for both eyes. And then we're going to grab, I keep saying and then, I'm sorry. We're going to grab a little bit more, and we're going to go right here like this. Drag that down the nose. Put some right here and down here. Notice I didn't double dip there. Now we're going to take a dropping brushes. A big fluffy brush like this, and we're just going to brush that away. Just kind of like that to get the excess off. So now we have set that area of our face where the concealer was. We'll brush away some of this under the eyes too. So now what we can do is we can go in with our under eye shadow and our, what's the word I'm looking for? Eyeliner. So I have brought you guys in close again so you can see the eyes. So I'm going to be using the Queen eyeliner in my waterline. I like to do this with one hand. So I just kind of grab my eyelid like this, and then I draw in the waterline first, like this. You can find your own way to do this. Some people use two hands. I just use one because I use my mirror for my other hand. That's going to look like that, but that's a little bit too thin for me. I like it a little bit more full, and I also like to connect it up here. I'll show you that. But if you wanted to leave it like that, you could. So I'm just going to draw a little bit underneath my waterline, and then I'm going to connect that here to my eyeshadow. Just like that. So see how that's a little bit more even? Now I'm going to do the same thing on the other eye. Just like that. So let's put on our liquid liner on the top lash so that has time to dry. I use a felt tip. This is also by Queen. I did get these eyeliners together. So what you're going to do is close your eye start at the inside here and then just draw a little line. And then how I connect it is I go off of where the eyeshadow ends and I just make a little like that. And then a little tiny wing. I know this is hard to see with this eyeshadow, but for purposes of this video, that's why I'm putting it on. Otherwise, usually with this eye look, I don't. But we are today. That was my eye. So that is on. And that's going to take a second to dry down. So while we wait for it to dry down, we're going to take a little angled brush like this, similar to a brow brush. And we're going to dip into Blood Queen again. That's the color I'm going to be using. If you wanted to use a different color, you could use the color Betrayal or High King. That would also work out well. And what we're going to do is we're going to put that a little bit below our eyeliner here. My cat just jumped on this chair. It scared the bejesus out of me. Oh my God. And if you wanted to blend that really well, you could. It's really up to you. And I'm just going to pop some on the inner corner like that. See, it's very subtle, but I do like doing that. That's just something that I do. If you didn't want to, you wouldn't have to. But it's important that you do your concealer before you do this part of your eye. Otherwise, you're probably going to have to redo part of it because it will get covered up. And it may look a little bit messy. I'm not really worried about fallout at this point because with this brush, you're not going to get much of it. And that's what that looks like. So now we will do our cream blush. You don't really need much of this either. I'm going to use about a pea-sized amount like this. And I'm just going to put that on right here. It's very pigmented, so you want to make sure you don't use too much or you're going to have a hard time blending this out. I like cream blush better because I don't feel like it's as messy and it's more precise. Wherever you put it, it usually stays. But it really just depends on the product and how you're using it. But that's where that goes. So a little bit above the ear there, and you just want it to be in a diagonal line. Now I'm going to take another beauty blender and use the bottom of it. I'm going to make sure this is my blush one because I don't want any contour here. So now what we're going to do is you're just going to tap in a line, then go a little bit below that, a little bit above that. So it will look like this. You could leave it like this if you want, but I like to use the shaved side of the beauty blender just to kind of blend in the edges here. Because that's just the way that I am. So I'll show you again. Just like this, a little bit above, a little bit below, and then we're going to blend the edge like that. So that is our cream contour and blush on, but now we need to put powder over that, and I need a little bit more powder because we want that to set in place and stay. So we're going to take our big fluffy brush again. I like to call this my powder brush. We're going to pick up some powder, tap off the excess, and we're just going to put this pretty much everywhere we haven't put powder already. So I like to just go like this, put that on. We'll do the other cheek. And then the forehead. And our neck. And the ears. Can't forget the ears. So that's what that looks like so far. But it would be nice if we had some highlighter, wouldn't it? So let's do that. And I'm using the Real Techniques Spotlight Fan. This is number 420. This is what it looks like. So I do not like to use liquid highlighter. I don't. So powder highlighter it is for me. And we're going to put this a little bit above where our blush is. So like right here. And you're just going to go back and forth in a line. And it will look like that. And then we'll do the same on the other side. Line like this. And then for my nose, I like to swirl my finger in the highlighter. And then I'm going to put that on my nose. I do my whole nose. Some people like to do like a little dot. It's really up to you. And then I'm just going to blend that in. But I like a lot of highlighter. I will put this on my Cupid's bow and my chin also. It's powdery. It does get everywhere. That's what you're seeing on screen. And that just kind of highlights the face. There are people that also put it like on their temples right here. I don't really like to do that, especially because my eyebrows already look like crap today. But I need to grab my setting spray. Okay, so you want to shake this before you use it, always. And then close your eyes and your mouth and just spray it everywhere. I breathed that in. Hello, watermelon. All right, so now I'm going to do my mascara. And I don't put my setting powder on before I do these steps on my face because they're all black. If you use a different lipstick, you might be able to get away with that, but I don't want any smears on my face because this stuff, aside from my mascara, is not waterproof. But if you have a waterproof mascara, it's going to be a little bit more of a drier formula. All you do is hold the brush and blink. That's literally all you do. So this is a waterproof mascara, so it's a little bit more dry. But I don't mind this formula by Milk. Now, if you wanted to do your lower lash lines, I can show you that. So all you do is just hold your eye open and just lightly tap on them with the wand. I sometimes like to use the corner of the wand like this because it works a little bit better. And it'll give you those little baby lashes. Just make sure you're not really touching your eye, like the area under your eye, or you're going to get chunks. Now, one thing that sometimes happens when you put mascara on is you will get mascara up here. If that happens, which it didn't happen to me, but if it does happen, pretty much what you do is you take a spoolie, and anywhere you have that mascara, once it dries, just spoolie it off, just scrape it. It's going to hurt a little, but it will come off. So now, woman, she's caught on my makeup bag. There we go. Now I'm going to do my makeup stamp. I do have a few of these. I have a heart one. I have a star one, but this is my moon one. You can't even see it. This is my moon one. So this is the marker that I always put right here that you guys see. It's very important if you have one of these and you're going to put it on your face that you use setting spray first, because this will smear your stamp. So I'm just letting you know that right now to make sure this is the right way. Ta-da. That's it. Now my last step is going to be my lipstick. So I'm not going to talk through this. I keep dropping brushes. I'm not going to talk through this part. If you wanted to use a lip liner, you could, but I don't, because this lipstick is so pigmented. I don't need to. Here we go. And that's it, everybody. Took us a while to get there. I know this was kind of long, but that is the finished makeup look. That's how I do my whole face, everything. So if you guys want to give it a try or you have questions about something, leave it down below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Appreciate you. And I will see you in the next one. If you liked the video, leave it a like. If you're new, please subscribe for other makeup content and makeup unboxings. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.